This is Tiffany Fox with Mrs. T. Fox Resources. We are going to be working on a colored pencil Easter peep, and I'm just going to be showing you how to develop some really rich, gorgeous color and to enhance this reference photo. Remember, a reference photo is just something that we refer to. We don't want it to look exactly like the reference photo. We want our color to be rich and gorgeous. I'm going to show you how to develop these shadowed areas using cool dark colors to make this peep rich and gorgeous. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay out a contour line drawing, and then we will talk about layering color. We have our contour line drawing. Remember, with a contour line drawing, you only need the big idea. You don't need details. We don't need to put these cracks in. We can do all that with colored pencil. And I tried to erase as much of the graphite as possible. You know, graphite is grease, colored pencil is wax. Sometimes those two things don't mix that well together. So what we want is a nice clean drawing. I'm gonna take my cool colors. I'm gonna take some violets. I'm gonna take some blues. I'm gonna take some greens. I'm gonna go ahead and map out these shadowed areas, and then I'm gonna lay in a little bit of local color. Local color is the color of our object. I'm going to incorporate some yellows and some reds in some of these areas just to make him as rich and colorful as possible. This reference photo is about almost 2 inches, and he's probably almost about 3 inches tall, just so you can have some point of reference as far as scale goes. As I'm layering the cool colors, I'm going to also incorporate some of the oranges and the reds in between the layers so that we get a nice deep rich orange in these areas, and we don't have this dead gray color that we have in the photo. So you'll be able to see the whole idea of mixing and creating these rich, beautiful hues with the colored pencils. I am using a 72 set of Prismacolor Premieres. You could do this with a set of 24. You could do this with a set of 12. I just have a lot more variations of each hue in the 72. All right, recap of the first few layers of our little peep here. I did Parma Violet and I did a Cerulean Blue in these dark shadowed areas. And then I went over the entire thing with, I think this is a Spanish orange. And I just glazed the whole entire thing. And I also glazed a little bit in the shadow. Now, as I'm moving forward and you're watching me layer the colors, you're going to see me putting a lot of oranges and reds just where I think I see them, just to give this guy a nice rich yellow-orange final color. If you see me pick up cool colors and go back into these dark areas, it's because I'm trying to make these values darker. So I'm going to need an extra layer of maybe a cool violet or a cool blue. I may even throw a little bit of a dark green in here just to really get these values dark. And then I'll be going in over top with reds and oranges for my finished layers on the darks. So just to let you know, if you see me picking up cool colors and going back in here, it's because I'm trying to make these values darker. And then in here, we'll have mostly local warm colors. And in here, in the cracks, I'll need to lay down some violet and some blue to make those darker and then put the local color back on top. We are coming down to the home stretch here. And so what I've done all along the way is wherever the values are dark. I have laid really light layers of blues, greens, violets, and this is mainly up to you where you want to place them, which order you want to place the cool colors. There's not really a right or a wrong. I just want you to imagine where you're going to end up in the final layer. So here, this dark area is cast in a little bit of a purplish red. So I used a lot of processed red, and I used mulberry, and I used violet as my underlayers. And then for the top layer, I'll probably go in, this is a goldenrod, I'll probably go in with maybe an orange just on top of it to deepen the shadow but still keep it nice and warm. And this is a cooler shadow down here. It's got a little bit of that purpley processed red kind of a look right up against the peep. And then it's kind of cast in a little bit of a yellow green and some blues. And I just mixed everything very lightly throughout here. The blue and the green. I used true blue, I used blue violet, I used a little bit of true green, apple green. There's no wrong answer. Experiment, layer, as long as you're keeping it light, you'll be fine. And so for the final layers, the final push is going to be a little waxier. So everything that's underneath, all over this little guy, is going to become waxy like this area and this area. This is a little close to finish too. So we want the whole finish. We want all of the tooth filled in. And when we press hard at the end, everything that's underneath will come bouncing to the surface, and it will all work together to give you a really nice, beautiful finished color. So you can see right here, as I press harder in this area, everything that's underneath comes to life. It's really, really magical. Colored pencil is a magnificent medium. Whatever your final layer, like this is like a deep orangey yellow, I chose this goldenrod. You might choose yellow ochre. You might choose Spanish orange. It's not a wrong answer. And if you start to press down and it's not the color you want, just pick another color and move on with that. I'm gonna go back to the time lapse, and you will see me putting these final layers in, pushing all this wax together and coming up with our finish colors for our peep. Then you can go do something amazing, as I am sure you will. Work slowly, be patient. Nobody ever did anything fabulous with colored pencil rushing through the process. It is a process. Think about it as a very relaxing process. Well, there you have it. Just remember, your basic takeaways are light pressure, tiny circular layers. Really examine and look at this reference photo to see which colors would work best to layer. There are no wrong answers as long as you are drawing lightly and giving yourself an opportunity to build. Colored pencil is a group effort. All of these colors work together to create this little guy right here. So the more color you have in an area, the richer and more dimensional your object will be. So thank you for joining me. This is Tiffany Fox with Mrs. T Fox Resources, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.